It's bigger. It's louder. It's better than ever. This still isn't your typical motorsports podcast. This is the 10th anniversary of Crush This, a monster truck podcast brought to you by J Concepts. For 10 years, your hosts, the monster truck Canucker Bradshaw and Dan Chichagash, have brought you into the minds and personalities of the monster truck industry. Strap in and hold on tight. This is Crush This!
And what is going on, everybody? Welcome to a brand new episode of Crush This, the Monster Truck Podcast. My name is Bradshaw, also known as the Monster Truck Canucker. And guys, this episode I'm very excited for. The last two episodes. Last week we had Austin Spence, who is such a great dude. Got to hear about more of his story and his journey, losing 100 pounds, getting to drive Boss Gator, and him then calling me out for the Beam NG, Beam Motorsports Creator Clash, which Spence, dude, I'm gonna open up stone cold levels of whoop ass on you with Smash Squad. You're going down, okay? But guys, this episode is gonna be really cool. Another guy that I've got to know over the last couple of years, got to meet him actually a couple years ago when I went down to the States. Mike Nugent, the NUGE, is on the show tonight. This is gonna be a great episode, guys. Gonna be I'll just say it. We're going to be talking mental health quite a bit on this podcast. You know, I'm a huge advocate for mental health, and Nuge is as well. We've both gone through our stuff that we've gone through with our mental health, and we're going to get into it. You know, I think this is it's a topic that should be addressed in the industry. This is going to be a fun episode. Cheech is not here this week as well. He is traveling back from Colorado. He was at the Colorado State Fair for a little while. With Ram there with the Hall brothers, so he's not going to be here. But before we get on to our talk with Nuge, guys, we have a couple things that we need to go over. Our buddies over at Monster Truck Attitude, if you're into downhill diecast monster truck racing, go check it out. Thursday Night Thunder, Tuesday Night Smashdown. MTA is awesome, doing great. They just had Thunder tonight. We crushed this team, didn't win, but we're still kicking ass. We're still whooping up on the Backyard Beast and everybody there. So that is awesome. Go check out our spread shop. Got some cool designs. New designs are coming, I promise. I know I always say that, but things have picked up in the Shot Speed Design Co. realm as of late. I posted a design grease fiend on my public social media a couple days ago. Go check that out. And now it's in Beam, so go check that out. It's up on going to be on Beam Monsters very soon. Our buddy Bryce Kenny has in his book Geared for Life, Making a Shift into Your Full Potential. Go check that out. If you're in a rut, needing just that extra gear, as Bryce does in his book, it's definitely a read to listen. It's on audiobook, virtual or not virtual, whatever form, online form. You can go check that out. And we are presented by jconcepts.net. And so many of our buddies that we've had on this podcast are sponsored by J Concepts. Cheech is as well. Use our code CRUSHTHIS at jconcepts.net for 15% off all your items. Hashtag do it for Jimmy. And then our buddies over at Monsters Monthly. If you are able to, or if you aren't able to find the podcast on audio platforms like Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, go check out Monsters Monthly. They host our podcast for us up on their website as well. Great website. Lots of cool stuff up on there. And guys, it is time to get into the episode with the Nuge. We're going to play one quick ad here from our buddies over at Backshot Productions, also celebrating their 10th year anniversary. And we will get into the talk with the Nuge. And just like that, everybody, we are back. And with me is one of the best dudes in the industry. So stoked to have him on. So stoked to call him a friend, Mr. Mike Nugent. Mike, how's it going, buddy?
It's going great. I mean, like I was just talking to you about right before we hopped on, I listened to the podcast for about 2 years, living with Cheech right next door to his bedroom in the living room. So it's an honor to actually be on. I mean, I've been on the podcast before, but never as an actual guest. So it's an honor to actually be here and as a guest. So thanks for having me.
Hey, no worries, man. When Cheech told me that you were going to be coming on, because Cheech usually is the one that's booking the episodes, I was stoked because I've been following your journey for quite a while, and I mentioned in the beginning I got to meet you in 2022 when I went to Indy for the Jamboree.
Yep,
Richie and Colton brought me by the Hall Brothers shop, and you were there, and got to meet you for the first time. So that was really cool back all the way then.
Yeah, I remember getting the text from Colton around, it was like 11. It was like,
yeah,
what are you doing? I'm sleeping. Want to go Portillo's? I'm like, man, why not? So that was fun. Hanging out with all you guys, finally getting to meet you down in Champaign, Illinois. So that was a fun trip. Hopefully you get to run into you. Hopefully come down from all the way from East Canada, North Canada, wherever you are, near the North Pole.
Northern in Alberta. Canada. I'm in Alberta.
So
but
make it back down to the States sometime soon. Can hang out again.
Oh, definitely. And dude, Portillo's. Oh, dude.
The chocolate cake shake.
Not just that, the Chicago dog. I love a good Chicago dog. And to have like the best of it, it's like that was
authentic Chicago food. It's nice.
Oh yeah. But dude, this is going to be an awesome episode. Like I mentioned, later on in the show, we're going to be getting into talking about some mental health. But usually, as you know, we like to start from the beginning. How in the world did you get into this industry? Like how did you get first? How did you find out about monster trucks? And then like, how did the journey happen?
So it all started June 29th, 2001. No, I won't go back that far. 2006 was my first show. I remember my dad coming to me right before. He was like, hey, we got tickets to this monster truck show. And I'm like, all right. Me thinking it's just going to be like an exhibition. I'm like 4 years old, no older than 4 years old. So I'm just like, all right, in my head thinking, all right, this is going to be a bunch of pickup trucks running over cars. And then we made it to the DCU Center in Worcester, Massachusetts, my home away from home pretty much, where I attended my first show in February of 2006. And just like every other super fan, every monster truck nerd, it was all downhill from there. Once I saw that first show, I'm like, this is what I'm going to do the rest of my life. No one was going to tell me otherwise. There was no other plan. I never wanted to be a pro athlete. I never wanted to be anything. I didn't want to be a singer or anything like that. I just wanted to be a monster truck driver. And I attended every year, Worcester, Massachusetts. My uncle, that was always my gift for Christmas from my uncle, who's also my godfather. He would get my dad and I and him front row tickets to Monster Jam at the DCU Center every single year, all the way from 2006 to 2019. And of course, I've traveled all over New England ever since then, all over the East Coast. And like I said, this is all I ever wanted to do. So I'm like, all right. And like every other super fan, my dream was to become a Monster Jam driver. So I'm like, all right, I'm going to try to, and I had a Monster Jam Instagram page, Monster Jam Collector, which I always posted, a huge diecast collector, still am. And I don't want to use the word fame, but I was getting a lot of, because that's a pretty strong word, but I was getting a lot of attention. Gaining a lot of followers. I had YouTube, so I was kind of I was a little well known by then. Not like big famous, but within the community, I'm like a little well known. So it's kind of nice to get my name out there a little bit with that. And of course, not everyone becomes a Monster Jam driver. So I had to shift my gears, and I started volunteering when I was going into my senior year of high school. My friend Gio, who is now a technician over at Monster Jam, I've known him since he was working at Taco Bell. So before he even started with the Pagliarulos. So I've been friends with him for almost 10 years now. And him and I got to talking, and I found out he was coming to a show in the town called Seekonk, Massachusetts, which was about an hour from my house. He was like, yeah, come on down, show you around. I'm like, all right, cool. This is my first time I actually get to go in the pits. And I was a kid in the candy store. I was like, just being back there at first, I'm like, it was like the Mecca. I'm like, holy crap, this is what all the cool kids get to do. But and then met Matt, met Nick, met the entire family. I can't say enough good things about the Pagdurillo family. They really done a lot for me. Get me here. I went on like a mini tour with them in summer 19. Went all over, went to a few East Coast stops. He invited my buddy and I to his shop, and he kind of like hired me for the summer. So it was a nice little on the road experience I got before I actually hit the road with the Pags. So I befriended them. That's when I met Chandler, who was also a Montchamp technician who has helped me a lot in my career. And I just stayed in touch with them. And I'm like, all right. And same with my first show, my first time volunteering. All I did was wipe down the body, and I took like 2 lug nuts off. But I'm like, dang, man, it's a drug. I'm like, yeah, I need to do this. So Topsfield, Massachusetts was the next show. That's probably my favorite independent show to do, just because it has so much significance to me. That is where I met Mike Thompson. As you know, all might know him, late great Mike Thompson. He was really the first guy to actually like take me, not really under his wing, but it was just for a day. But he was the first person to show me the star pattern, putting on tires. He'd show me how to wipe down a body, finish with the clean rag, just little stuff, like how to fuel. This is my first time fueling, just little stuff that Mike just like pointed out. And just, so it was a lot. Might not seem a lot to him at the time, but it meant a lot to me. And I became kind of close to Mike. I've always really been close with Steven, his brother, still am. So I got a little close to Mike, and then I didn't know he was going through any of that. I mean, no one did. And I found out August 20th of, I think it was 19th or 20th of 2019, Mike passed away from suicide. So that was hard. But I can't thank Mike enough. He's done a lot for me. He really, like I said, he's the one that showed me the ropes first. So
he seemed like he was a very humble guy. Like, you know, there's people in the industry that, you know, that sometimes they can have a big head about them, and, you know, yes. But Mike seemed like he was just a genuine down to earth dude that, you know,
funny,
like, yeah,
funny that's guy. Oh my God.
Like, he just seemed just genuine.
He was. And I only knew him. I basically only knew him for a couple of days, but that's how much I like. So and then, yeah, it was hard when Mike passed, but I owe him a lot. He's one of the people I owe a lot of my career to. So getting back to graduate high school in 2019, still doing some volunteering, going to watch him shows all over the East Coast with my buddies. And it was kind of funny how it started, how I got my first full-time position. So as you probably know, I'm a moderator in the Monster Collecting Facebook group.
Yeah.
So I'm like, you know, I need to add a few things in my wardrobe. So I make a post and I say, are any drivers out there, teams selling T-shirts? I'd love to buy one. And then Darren Migas messaged me. He said, hey, I have a few T-shirts if you want. I'm like, all right, sweet. I never bought the T-shirts, but I was going to send the money. And then I realized he's coming. That first quarter, he had my hometown of Worcester, Mass, Hartford, Connecticut, and Albany, New York, all on the first quarter schedule, all within an hour and a half of my house. So I'm like, hey, can I come out and volunteer? He's like, yeah, of course, whatever. Like, all right, cool. And then in my head, I'm like, I should ask if he needs someone full time. Just joke. I'm like, I should ask if he needs someone full time. So I'm like, screw it, now or never. So I text him like, by any chance, do you need anyone full time to come on the road with you and all that? He was like, as a matter of fact, I do. So he hired me and one other person. I was greener than green. I didn't know a 3/8 impact from a 1/2 inch impact. I didn't know anything, tools, anything about a monster truck. All I knew how to put tires on and wipe down a body. So the other guy didn't really last. So he kind of got canned 1 week into the job. So it was literally just me, Darren, and Kalen for an entire first quarter. And I was on a arena Montchamp tour. So I was thrown to the wolves in my first. So, but one of my favorite quotes is get thrown to the wolves, come back leading the pack. So sink or swim. I was either going to sink or swim, and I'm still here. So I think I swam pretty good. But no, Darren and Kalen, I'll try not to talk too much about them, but Darren, I know everything because he's the only person. Like I messaged so many teams, even the team I'm working for right now, I applied for and I got turned down. So it's kind of funny how that works. But Darren, I applied everywhere, man. I wanted this badly, and Darren was the only person who would give me a chance when no one else would. So if it wasn't for Darren, I probably wouldn't be here right now.
Darren is such a great dude. I got when he was with Jimmy, he came up here 1 or 2 times with Chris Orell, and Matt Brokaw. I got to work with them, and that man loves his crown, or Captain Morgan's. That man loves his captain. That's the first thing. Like I remember we were walking back over to the hotel, and he just whips out just a big ass handle of captain. I'm like, dude, what? you
think Captain Morgan, you automatically think Dan Regis. No, he's definitely a captain. Captain Morgan. I think he does. If anyone needs a sponsorship from them, it's definitely him.
And he was really the first person to let me work on the trucks with him and Matt.
Yeah.
And I still remember that. That was big for me,
Yeah.
So,
one of Darren's big things is he's not afraid to give someone a chance.
Yeah.
And that.
So you started working with Darren.
Mm-hmm. And then COVID happened. Of course, that kind of worked out for everyone. Darren and I kind of had a little bit of a falling out. I went home for a little bit, kind of lived a normal life, and then that is when Cheech and I started talking. And being on tour with them, when I was with Darren, I was on tour with Mark and Kurt and Tim and the entire Hall Brothers group. So I actually got to know them pretty well through the tour, especially Cheech and I. Cheech and I became really close really quick. So Cheech and I got to talking, and long story short, I ended up moving to Champaign, and I worked for the Hall Brothers for 2 years, which was honestly 2 of the best years of my life. There were a lot of ups and downs, personally, professionally, but those 2 years working for Hall Brothers were honestly 2 of the best years of my life.
Well, the Hall Brothers is one of the best teams in the industry. They demand perfection. And because they're one of the longest teams in the industry at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Starting in the early 90s, and seeing how the shop was and how clean the trucks always were. What was that like? Is when you were with the Hall Brothers, that's when you started getting chances to be like, hey, there's the ride truck, and you started
Mm-hmm.
getting behind the wheel of the ride truck, and how was that experience? Because you're going from and nothing on Darren and Kalen and what they had, but you go from them to the Hall Brothers. It's like, okay, here that's the next step up. They're sponsored by a $1 billion corporation in Stellantis. You're representing Ram. What was that like for you coming into that new chapter of your life with the Hall Brothers at that time?
It was definitely a change of pace, to say the very least. It was definitely a big change of pace. Like what you said, the professionalism they have, their trucks were always clean, and they pride themselves on that, and rightfully so. I have a bunch of buddies who've always told me like they wish they had the professionalism of the Hall Brothers. So that was a little bit of a reality check for me. I came in there, I was still 19 years old, still a punk teenager. Thought I was better than what I was. I'm like, I come in there. I'm like, all right, I know how to change an axle, or I know how to take out a planetary. Like, I think so that was a little bit of a reality check, but it definitely helped me grow. What I want to say about working for the Halls is I learned a lot about working on monster trucks and especially motors. But one big thing that I learned from them was professionalism. Like I was, like I said, I was a punk ass kid. I was a punk ass teenager growing up. Not really, but I definitely had an ego. I thought I was better than what I was. So working for the Halls with Mark and Tim, Cheech and Kurt, like I said, everyone there, they are the ones that really transformed me from a kid to a young adult. So I thank them for that. But getting back to your question, when I first got there, it was definitely cool. My fan side started showing first, as you know, with all the Cav sides on the wall. I'm like, all right, this is pretty cool. Like history from before I was even born. I'm like, all right, this is pretty cool. But I could definitely within the first half hour, I could definitely feel like, okay, these guys are. I mean, I knew that already, but these guys are definitely the real deal. Like these guys are, like, wow. Like we have travel uniforms. Our rigs were always clean. It was.
They present
really
their
felt
team
like working for an HRE team.
Yeah,
I've never been
yeah.
an HRE fan, but yeah.
Yeah, like they present themselves as like a NASCAR team or NHRA,
Exactly.
like professional motorsports. Like, yes, monster trucks are entertainment as well, but you know, there's certain teams out there, and the Hall brothers are the shining example. They present themselves as a legit like motorsports team. From the haulers. They're all decked out with wraps, and like it's super impressive.
Yeah, 100%.
It's insane. And so, you know, you started with them, and you know, and I wanted to mention there, you know, the stuff on the walls of their shop. Like I remember seeing it and be like, that's the executioner body. Oh my god!
Yeah,
and just like and I talked about this with Austin.
Nerd really gets to let out. Yeah.
Oh yeah. And like I talked with Austin about this last week. You know, there's times even during like when I did the Edmonton show last month, when I was helping out Team Throttle, or 2 months ago, whatever it was, Charlie Pauken was there driving Digger, and I'm like, do I let my fanboy show? Like, this Charlie freaking Pauken? He was at the very first Monster Jam show I went to in 2011 in Edmonton. Like, I was like, screw it, I gotta say hi to him. I gotta fanboy a little bit. But then there's times where, like, once you've been back behind the scenes enough and helped out enough people, you develop in a way like this. I call it just the switch. You could turn on your fanboy, and then you can turn it off. When it's showtime, you know, that's when you turn that fanboy off, and you got to get to work. You know, but it's sometimes it's hard when you see, you know, like Charlie Pauken do absolutely something insane, and you're in the tunnel just losing your freaking mind.
Yeah. Seeing people you grew up watching as kids in the present. I mean, I'm still like that. I mean, I get made fun for being a super fan. I'm going to be a super fan till the day I die. You have to be a super fan. You have to be a fan of this industry to love what you do, because once you stop being a fan, it just turns to work. And I don't want to work. I want to live my dream. I like having fun. I like traveling the world, playing monster trucks with my best friends. And that's what I'm doing. And the second it turns into work is when it stops being fun. So, it was to flip the switch. No, go ahead.
I was gonna say it's like my dad says: if you do what you love, you'll never work a day in your life.
100%. So there are times where, like, even working, I've been doing this for on and off about 5 years. I still love my super fan show. Obviously, there are times and places, like, so at the end of the day, sometimes I have to sit back and realize how lucky I am to be doing what I'm doing. Like, realizing, like, I waited hours in line for Jimmy and Don's autograph, and now their autographs on the bottom of my paycheck every Tuesday. So it's like little things like that I have to realize, like, how grateful, how blessed I really am. Like when we're out at dinner, especially when Dennis is on tour, between Jim and Dennis, the stories are endless. So many great stories, and that's when you really just sit back and just take it all in. That's when you let your fans show them, like,
yeah.
But at the same time, it's like, oh, it's Jim. Like, oh, it's just Jim. Like, world champion to me is my boss. A few years ago, he was like, if this was me a few years ago, I'd be worshiping him in the ground this guy walks on. Now I'm like, all right, he's Jim. He's all right.
Yeah.
Jim is watching this year, all right.
Oh, yeah. And that must be still so cool. Like, you know, you get to, you know, crew for one of the most decorated teams in monster truck history, going from, you know, Hall Brothers, which is an amazing team, now to Extreme. Like, that is so cool, man.
Yeah. I will. I mean, I can't leave out Overboard. Because Jamie Garner, I only worked there for about 2 months, but honestly, Jamie Garner really pretty much saved my life because this is when we really transitioned into like the mental health stuff.
Yep. Let's get into it, bud.
So, like I said, I was working for Halls for about 2 years. January of 23, we just finished our first 2 stops. Salt Lake City, Utah, and the famous 5-show Tacoma, Washington event at the Tacoma Dome. That was a fun weekend. It was leaving Halls was a hard decision. I mean, it was nowhere near like, oh, sweet, I'm out here. Like it was once I got reached out by my buddy who was on tour with Cole Bernard, and Cole was like, we need people. And then my buddy was like, I think I might know someone. And then he just laid out like everything that would be there for me. And I'm like, damn, man, this is what got me. It was closer to home. Not that much of a difference, but Ohio to Massachusetts, it just felt like a little bit. I mean, Indiana to Massachusetts as opposed to Illinois to Massachusetts, I just felt a little more at home. But so I'm like, I got to take this. So I left Halls, all in good terms, thank God. Still good friends with everyone over there today. And that's when I went on to my first Montreal Stadium tour. And at this point, I was 21 years old, just became legal to buy alcohol, all that fun stuff. What a lot of people really didn't know is that I was becoming a functioning alcoholic pretty quick. It was there would be night pretty much every single night. I'd go to the track, I'd work, all I would think about is drinking all day pretty much and partying. Whether it'd be going to my buddy's hotel room, just watching old Montsham videos and drinking, or going out to a bar. All I wanted to do was drink. Rewind to that. A little bit out of high school is when I started becoming addicted to pills as well. I was using prescription pills as pretty much I was popping those like candy pretty much. The high it gave me, I felt unstoppable. So I quickly relied on them. It turned from let me use these to feel good to holy crap, I need these or I'm gonna lose my cool pretty much.
Yeah.
When I got with Darren, it was a little easier. Oddly enough, I mean, right? I wasn't drinking quite yet then, but the pills is when I started relying on them. When I was with Darren, new to Monchucks, not used to like I said, I was throwing to the wolves. My first real independent Monchuck experience, working full time, so I got all of it. 2 a.m. nights, early mornings, nonstop work, not eating all day. So I really got the full experience pretty quick. So that's when pills became my go-to pretty much. And they were prescription pills. So I was taking a lot more of the dosage than I should have, which meant I was running out of them faster.
Yeah.
Which meant I was in a tough time. So that's when I kind of really shifted from pills to alcohol. When I turned 21, shifted from pills to alcohol. And that's when, fast forward, I'm with Jamie Garner. I'm on Montsham tour. Not a single day goes by, single night goes by where I'm not drinking. I would always either go back to the hotel bar, go to the bar with my buddies, go to the Packy or liquor store, as you call it, Massachusetts.
Yeah.
And just get a drink. And I would literally just drink until I passed out, until I fell asleep. And I would never be hungover because I was, so that was like my way of like, okay, I can do this. Like I can still drink and I could still like
function.
The exact definition of what a functional alcoholic is pretty much.
Yeah.
And that is when my ego skyrocketed. That's when I really thought I was a lot better than what I was. So I really thought I was top dog. So I threw my weight around. And I got humbled pretty quick, and rightfully so. I mean, if I wasn't gonna get humbled, I would have been walking around all. I was the person who I hated pretty much, and alcohol definitely contributed to that a lot. I said a lot of things to people that to this day I'm like, I feel awful. I said that, and I hate using the term. I hate using the excuse, "Oh, I was drunk." Oh, I was drunk. That wasn't me. But coming sober and all that is all about taking actions, responsibility for your actions and all that. So I really wasn't the person I wanted to be when I was drinking. So we do we do Orlando, Florida. We have Tampa. No, we have Jacksonville, then Orlando. And then Orlando, we go back to the shop, and that's when we get back. I pull in, and Jamie comes out, and he fires me. Same with the All Brothers. I can't say enough good things about Jamie. I mean, Jamie is a lot like Jim now, my boss. He took us out to dinners, nice, like not just like nice steakhouses, treat us like hotels are all paid for during the week. We had a place to stay. He was definitely one of the most selfless men I've ever had the privilege of working with or working for. So Jamie definitely took care of all of his employees, me, everyone. So I can't say enough nice things to say about Jamie. So that is when I went home, and that's when my life really started spiraling out of control. Because I'm like, I was at like a roadblock because I'm like, I've been doing Monchucks nonstop since COVID ended, kind of in 21. So I'm like, how do I do in my life now? Like Monchucks are really. So I thought to myself, I'm like, all right, I'm not going to use this as a negative. I'm going to try to use this as a positive. I'm like, all right, I'm home. I get to see family I haven't seen in 2 years, 3 years. Get to see friends I haven't seen in 3 years. Excuse me. So I'm like, yeah, awesome. So I went out and I partied a lot. So I wake up and I text my buddies, hey, what are we doing tonight? What are we doing tonight? Always hoping that the answer would be go drink, go party, whatever. And even if we didn't, that wouldn't stop me. I a little hard to talk about. I apologize.
Hey, dude, no worries. Like this people need to understand about mental health, you know, and
I love
that's
wearing my
what we're
heart on my
doing.
sleeve because
I'm the same way, brother.
Yeah, because it only takes one to, who knows, one of the people watching could be struggling, and
exactly.
Yeah. I mean, I have a mental health awareness ribbon tattooed with a suicide awareness semicolon. My mom got.
That's
you
my
got
tattoo
one.
as well.
Yep.
The I on survive.
So,
you know,
exactly.
This is if you know.
You know as well as I do, mental health advocacy is important because there's a lot of me, myself included. I suffered in silence for years, and that led to one of my suicide attempts. Actually, that's when I started, from when I got fired to when I got admitted to the hospital, sent right to rehab in October. From those months, I was just. There's a lot I don't even remember from that time because I was on a lot of shit that I shouldn't have been on, and
it's hard. It's hard to suffer in silence because, you know, there's times where, like when I was going through my stuff with my previous relationship, you know, like you want to reach out, but you're too scared to.
Yeah,
you know,
you feel
a
like
lot of people don't.
Like a bother, or you feel like
and then you post something maybe on social media and people are like, oh, you're just begging for attention. No,
exactly.
You're basically being like, hey, I need help. Like, I don't know what to do. I don't know how to get out of this.
And each person, each person is different. Each person expresses their need for help differently. Like bottling up is the worst thing you could possibly do.
Exactly.
Like I said, I didn't tell my mom, I didn't tell my dad, and they're the two people I tell everything to. So if I didn't tell them that, I sure as hell wasn't telling anyone else. So one day in October, right after I think it was the day before Halloween, I'm just in my room, and this, like I said, these past few months, like My mom thought I overdosed on the couch. Like there's a lot of stuff I shouldn't be sharing, but it was a rough 6 months of my life. So October 30th of 23, I just collapsed in my room and I just start breaking down. I start hysterically crying. I'm just like, shoot, like I'm just bawling. My mom comes up, she just wraps her arms around me. We're in the room. I don't even know how long I'm in my room for. And then that's when she takes me to the hospital. I'm there for a couple of days, and then from there I get sent right into rehab. And then again, that was tough. For anyone if anyone has ever suffered from any sort of addiction, alcoholism, they know how withdrawals feel. And withdrawals I wouldn't wish those upon my worst enemy. The first 3 weeks of being sober, I had to go to the hospital twice because they thought I was about to have go into cardiac arrest because I felt more sick than any hangover ever had. So that was a lot. Especially me, I quit everything. That's when I quit everything. Quit all drugs, quit all alcohol. I quit everything. And to that point, I am proud to say this coming October, I will be 2 years sober. So,
hell yeah, dude.
Appreciate it. Thank you. So I talking with you beforehand. I like to tell my story of how I got into monster trucks, all that, but I like to explain my story about mental health more because my story about how I got into monster trucks probably isn't going to save a life. My story about how I became sober, about how because like I said, there's a lot of people suffering in silence. You don't know what someone's going through. Yeah, they could be going through the exact same thing you're going through. So that's why I try to advocate and reach out. And I like to state facts because people, when I make posts about mental health and all that, people don't realize how much it really affects people. Mm-hmm. 1 in 5 men in the U.S. are suffer from mental health problems. Suicide takes up about 40% of all deaths in young men. So I definitely like to come on here, use whatever platform I have to not really kind of talk about myself, but talk about myself in the way of trying to help someone.
My journey, when I was in my previous relationship, I dated somebody who was a functioning alcoholic and that did pills. She had a lot of chronic pain and she drugged me down, and I became myself. I'll share about my journey. I became a toxic person as well. I before that I got diagnosed ADHD, Asperger's syndrome, anxiety, depression. So a cocktail of fun.
I'm in the same boat as you are, pal. Don't worry.
and
whole smorgasbord.
Oh yeah. And it's hard when somebody else is dragging you down to their level.
Yeah.
And I became a nasty person. Being on the autism spectrum, there's I don't know about you, but I know with myself, I never really self-harmed until things started getting worse and I would beat on my head. I would, it got to the point where I would take empty and full pop cans and smash them on my head till I was bloody because I didn't know how to express how I felt. I didn't know how to express the pain. And then I started using weed, cannabis, marijuana. And I was, luckily for me, that was my escape from the hell that was inside my head. That actually gave me peace. And, I personally still use CBD, it helps me sleep. It helps my brain. Because with the very active brain with ADHD, you're always,
I have ADHD always, too. Yep. It's always going. Yeah.
Oh yeah. And especially at night and,
mind's racing, whole 9 yards. Yep.
Yeah. And, for me, alcohol never really did it for me. I grew up with uncle who was an alcoholic. Mm-hmm. And that made me just be like, no, I'll have a drink every once in a while, but it's just not my thing. And like, and like with cannabis, like if anything, it just makes me feel goofy. Like it just makes me feel like it's like, I don't care. Like I'm still me. I'm just more funny.
Yeah.
But like, I remember, and it's funny how it kind of ties into monster trucks, with everything. Like I was doing all the stuff for Zane with Renegade, with all the branding in 2020.
Yeah, I remember.
Things were great. And then that's when all hell broke loose after the trip that he flew me down to Pennsylvania for an event, their hometown Lincoln Speedway, basically. And after that, it was all hell broke loose. November 11th, 2020, I tried to kill myself. I threw a bunch of pills down my throat. I was tired of the pain. Growing up, I got bullied. Food was my escape. I shouldn't have survived the pregnancy. Like I've had to fight for so much in my life.
Yeah.
And that's why like I resonate with you. Like that's why whenever like anything that you post about mental health, I'm always like, yeah, dude, like let's get it, because I resonate with that because I go through my struggles. I go through my shit. My forehead's all scarred up from when I would smash, my forehead. But November 11th, which in Canada is Remembrance Day. What a day to do it. Remembering our fallen, soldiers. But I threw a bunch of pills down my throat because I was done. I hated my life. I hated who I'd become. When your mom says to you, I don't recognize who you are anymore, that is something that cuts deep.
Yeah.
And I look back on that time now, and in a way, I know this might sound weird to most people, but in a way, I'm glad that I went through that. Like sometimes, like you're in a way, you're glad that you've gone through the struggle and the bullshit
100%.
because it's
100%.
made you a better person.
100%.
Yeah, I mean, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say like it. What you said, like there are days, like there'd be mornings my mom would come in, I'd be laying on the couch and she wouldn't know if I was alive or not. To put my own mom, I mean, at the time you're like, oh, I'm fine, but to put your own mom through stuff like that, like even just something simple as that, like holy shit, like you're not only dragging yourself through all that, you're dragging everyone through.
Oh yeah, like my mom would check Facebook Messenger and see if I've been active, just to make sure that I was still there.
Yeah.
And I remember that night, like my ex passed out drunk and she was hogging up the bed. She was living with me at the time, and I slept in my bathtub because I just had nowhere. And I stayed up all night, went to work the next day. I was working at a bottle depot, sorting bottles, and I had to leave because I just felt sick because of all the stuff that was in my system.
Yeah.
And it's my hope with this episode is that it helps somebody.
I 100% agree. Even just as one person.
And sorry, I'm getting emotional, but
you're good. You're good, man. I know how it is.
I just wanted to help somebody, even if just one 100%. Person. That's all I care about because
100%, man.
There's a song that Switchfoot made, "Meant to Live." You are meant to live for so much more, or I think whatever the lyric was, and that is so true. And I don't really talk about my faith or much on social media, but I am a Christian, and
same.
I believe this for you too. When we're at that low point, when I was laying in my bathtub, waiting to die, or when you were going through your stuff, I feel like God sent angels to protect us at that moment, 100%. And it's, man, I'm so happy that we're finally doing this episode.
I know, I'm
talking about mental health because in the monster truck industry, people like, especially because I've only got
the monster truck industry, not to interrupt you, but a lot of people just don't really understand the whole mental health. But
people think sometimes it's a load of horse crap. There's not such thing as mental health, but there is.
Yeah, it's all about coping too, how to deal with it, and that's how monster trucks are always how I did.
Amen.
Monster trucks pretty much saved my life in middle school.
Yeah.
I was bullied from 4th grade till 8th grade. And 8th grade was the worst. And that was came home from school, from like physical violence to it was a lot that 8th grade year, and to the point where I attempted to commit suicide for the first time. And if my older sister didn't come into my room, I don't think I'd be alive, because she's the one, like what you said, angels sending you. She didn't walk in, I don't know what would have happened. But during that time I don't know who it is.
All right, I'll take you out the chair for a second. Guys, this has been an amazing chat. Like, I hope you guys are learning a lot about mental health and, journeys that people go on. Kelly Mia's, yes, September is mental health awareness.
Right there. We have a guest.
Oh, no. Oh, oh God. No. Do not let him on.
No, I'm actually here for a good thing. Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to say one thing, and then I will get out and leave Mike alone. What you two are doing right now, anybody watching, I don't know how many people you have watching right now, but I've been sitting outside watching this, need to share this with everybody they can. And I'm proud of both of you right now.
Thank you.
I think it's awesome what you two are doing.
Thank you.
Y'all are, the stuff you guys are talking about, nobody talks about. And so I just want to, like I said, not that my opinion matters in anything, but I'm very proud of both of you. And I think it's really cool y'all getting this out. And like I said, I hope everybody watching shares with those people. And I hope you guys help somebody too. I think it's really cool.
Kelly was just in the comments.
It's a goal of mine. And it's a goal of mine to have a truck out there that's meant for mental health. That's a goal that I've had, 100%. since 2017. I thought of the whole Crush the Stigma thing, and it's still a goal to have a monster truck out there that's for mental health, that helps people.
Awesome. 100%.
Yeah. I'll get out of here. I didn't want to interrupt, but I had to interrupt for a minute. But I think it's really cool what you guys are doing.
Thank you.
And this kid, as much as he drives me insane every single day,
I do.
I couldn't be prouder of him.
I do.
It was good to see you there, buddy.
I just had to interrupt you.
World famous 2015 Technician of the Year, Cam Megas, everybody.
Monster Cast. A little bit of a monster cast there.
Let's get Mason on, huh? Let's make this a whole deal. Yeah, let's get the whole band back together. Why don't we?
Oh, yeah.
All right, sounds good.
That's cool. And I do hope that people listen to this and, just feel inspired, to maybe help somebody. Cheech is here. Hey, hope everything is okay. Yeah, Cheech.
Yeah.
Cam Migas just popped in, said, that we're doing a good thing here, and, we're just being open and real.
Preston's getting taken over by the Monster Cast.
Yeah. Hey, if it wasn't for MonsterCast using the StreamYard platform in the beginning, I don't know where we'd be at this point. So there.
Man, that was a good era for podcast.
Oh, our good old buddy Dallas Glenn Rogers. What up, buddy?
God, I loved it. He's my older brother. I love
Oh,
Dallas.
dude, he's such a good dude. Says I'm so proud of both you guys. Seeing how much you've both matured in the years I've known y'all is impressive. Like
thank you, Dallas.
And
not to interrupt you, but Dallas is a perfect example. The whole mental health, it just starts by treating people with kindness. Yeah. You don't know what everyone's going through. Like I said, I wear my heart on my sleeve. You wear your heart on your sleeve. Not everyone does, though. Most people who deal with suicidal thoughts and tendencies and all that, they're happy. So it costs nothing to treat people with kindness, because that radiates to other people. Radiates to other people. And that just makes the whole world better. Because treat people with kindness, and then it just makes everyone better. Makes everyone a better human being. And
Dallas is a shining example of that. I've gotten to hang out with that dude so much. But he's not only my best friend, but I
admire him. I look up to him as an idol, as a role model so much because he's just like us, just a monster truck nerd with a dream. And he went out there, dedicated himself, and he has his own truck of his own.
Yeah.
So,
and the truck was just in Alaska with another
Yeah.
driver, and like that dude, like I've got like he's done shows where I live in Grand Prairie, and I've gotten to hang out with him so many times, and the dude's so hilarious. Like the whole Straight Up team is just solid people.
oh yeah,
But
going along, great people over there.
A couple of people commenting. Gabriel Lee, such a powerful episode.
Oh, I love
Dalton
Gabe.
Van Skyhawk, Mr. Stomper driver himself, the superstar. That is awesome, Dalton. Thank you for the support. Joy Maletti.
I always thought Dalton looked like the Macho Man.
Oh yeah, Dalton's a great dude, but
he is. I met him once. He came by the Hall Brothers shop once. I met him. He's a good dude.
Oh yeah, and so proud that he runs one of my designs, and thinking about the Nichter family still. We just lost Joe, and
thoughts and prayers with them, definitely.
But getting back into our talk, it's incredible, like how some of us, not so, like, but the people that struggle in silence, like they seem happy. Like I'd always still have a smile on my face, like trying just to be the best version of myself. But in
Robin
silence,
Williams is the perfect example I always use.
Yes, exactly.
Everyone loved him. Comedian, one of the funniest guys on earth. Everyone loved him. And then news broke that he was battling stuff that no one knew because he was always happy.
The one that hit me the most was Chester Bennington from Linkin Park. That one hit me so hard because the very first CD I ever bought in 2003 was Linkin Park's Meteora. And songs like Somewhere I Belong, Numb, so many of the lyrics that man wrote resonated with me at a very young age, and
I'm the same way with music too. A lot of music.
Oh yeah, music is therapy for me. I'm so 100%. Blessed to be able to be a drummer and play at my church and on projects, because for me that's my therapy right there.
Oh, 100%.
Like for me, like I might look like a goofball on a Sunday morning because I'm not a robotinist. There's some church drummers out there that are just like, not me. I'm rocking out. I'm bobbing my head. I'm
gotta have fun with it, man. You gotta have fun with it.
But like it's incredible the stories that I've heard of people that once they hit rock bottom, the climb back is such a satisfying thing. Like look at you now. You're with 2 Extreme Racing. You've gone through all the hardship. You've gone through the struggles, the addiction, the mental health battles. You got to drive a freaking monster truck in Evansville, Indiana at one of the best shows of the summer.
Oh my God.
Dude, I was crying watching the video of you because like there's so many of us that have been cheering you on and knowing the struggles you've gone through with mental health, and you're out there competing with Jim Kohler, Don Jimmy Cretin, so many legends at that event. And here's Mike Nugent from Massachusetts piloting Brutal. How in the hell, how did that feel, dude?
It's still sitting in, honestly. It's about a month out from now. I mean, we're about a month and a half out by now, and it's still sinking in, honestly. So I got to make my debut in Waco, Texas in February or March. And I got to make about 4 or 5 hits on the race lanes for freestyle performance. It was intermission. Cam and Darren was actually driving Brutal at the first show and racing in 2-wheel for the second show. And we're all just doing what we all do in the pits, fueling trucks, putting charges on, whatever. Cam comes over, not like mad, but he's like, Nugget. I'm like, yeah. He's like, you fuel any of these trucks yet? I'm like, yeah, all but that one. He's like, are all these trucks plugged in? Yeah. All right, go to the trailer, put a 5 suit on, you're freestyling Brutal. I'm like, and apparently this was a thing for like 3 weeks. And the fact that everyone kept it a secret, I'm not even mad, because that is the most impressive thing. Because if you knew the people I work with, it is the hardest thing to keep a secret on this team.
That's so great.
But and then it was like, I was thinking about this before I came on. I'm really the luckiest guy in this entire industry when it comes to support, because I have my entire family. My mom watches this podcast more than I watch this podcast. No offense, but I'm on the road. But like I said, my parents are watching this. My friends are watching. I mean, the amount
Thanks
of
for the support, Mom and Pop Nuge.
Yep. Yes. Thanks, Mom. The amount of support I have, and just people cheering in my corner. I really am the most blessed, the luckiest guy in this entire industry, because I'm no one special. I'm just a kid from Worcester, Massachusetts, who just wanted to do this for a career. I just want to travel the world, play monster trucks for a career. And all these people cheering me on. Seeing all the people who reached out after Evansville, I was blown away, because how many people actually supporting me is just unreal. And what happened in Waco pretty much happened in Evansville too. Austin Mitten, love that guy to death, by the way. I can't say enough good things about that guy. Annoys the hell out of me, but I love that guy.
I gotta show this comment just because
lack of odds. Yes.
Isn't it Worcester?
I have a pretty strong Boston accent for people who. But yeah, he's doing something to the trailer, and then I'm signing autographs for Brutal, and then Cam and Mitt come over, and then he's like, "All right, so this is what you're gonna need to do we're just running through like the shows and all that, like where we need to set up pits and all that." He goes, "All right, I need you to go back there after pit party, get all the fuel, get the generator, get the chargers ready, and put a fire suit on, because you're driving Brutal to show." And I'm like, I hate you guys. I'm like, because like what you said, this is the independent world finals. Like the Kohlers, the Gardners, Cretans. We had Culture Sock with us, Daniel Ames and Preston. World champions, people I grew up watching. And then just a kid like me who just, and monster truck nerd, gets to actually go out there and hit these same obstacles in a monster truck that these people are going to hit or have hit. I'm like even after the show, Jim Kohler came up to me like, "Yeah, good job, man." And I'm like, "You have no idea how much of an honor it was to run with you today." So if you're not nervous driving the monster truck for the first time, then this something wrong. So there was definitely a lot of nerves flowing, but I'm like, all right, most of the time, your first run, you always hate. Like my first run, we just had one of the kids who worked for us, Jerry. He just made his freestyle debut this past weekend. Beyond proud of that kid. I thought it a whole lot better than my first run, and he thought it sucked. I'm like, duty defined. So no matter what your first run is, you're always going to think it sucks. So my Waco run, I got maybe like 2 inches of air off the course in a monster truck. You think you're flying, but then in reality, you're really not. So I'm like, all right, you only get one really good first hit of your career. So I was gonna hit the big on ramp that I hit first. I was gonna hit what I hit the second time, facing the backflip ramp. I'm like, all right, so if I just go, and then I'm asking like Mitt and like, hey, can you come walk the track with me? Like, hey, how would you hit this like perfectly? Like, go into it, throttle into it. And they're thinking I'm talking about the big jump, and they're like, why don't you just hit that? And I'm like, why don't I just hit that? Yeah, screw it. So I'm thinking, because we're going to Canada, the trip we have to make from Evansville to our next show, we go from Evansville, Indiana, which is middle of the country, to St. John's, Newfoundland, which is a time zone and a half ahead of East Coast. So we had to take a ferry. We basically had to go halfway across the country in a week. So I was thinking like, Jim's going to like not okay this. Like, we have Canada this week. We can't really afford to get trucks broke and all that. So I'm like, it's going to be like So I walk up to him like, Jim, do you think I could hit that first hit? Yeah, go for it. I'm like, that was a lot easier than I thought it was gonna be. So I'm like, all right. I'm shaking. I'm beyond. I'm like, fuck. I'm like, dang. I'm shaking. So I'm like, all right, this is what I'm gonna do. I had all my friends sitting on the far side, so I'm going. I wave to them. I go up, I park it, rev it up a few times, and then I'm like, all right, if I'm gonna do it, I might as well make sure I actually clear the jump and not just nose down. So there's Jersey barriers behind me, so I'm just backing up slow as possible, just so I can hit the Jersey barrier. And I'm like, it's all or nothing. So I just went to it. Foot to the floor. I'm like, you only get one first hit of your career. Might as well make it a good one.
Yeah.
So I'm happy with my second performance compared to my first one. So, and it's on anything driving one. Like that week I drove brutal. The next week I was in a ride truck. It's anything with 4 wheels and a motor. I love playing with. I mean, it's even crewing, like having the pride of like me being the Shark Bite crew chief. I mean, Shark Bite crew chief. Seeing that truck go down the track when my driver does something cool, when that truck wins a competition, when that truck loads into the trailer at the end of the night, I take pride in that. So basically anything involving monster trucks. So anything with 4 wheels and a motor, I love playing with.
Well, and you mentioned Shark Bite, Dan Dahlgren, the driver. I got to meet him at World Finals. He actually came up to me, which was really cool.
Yeah, he was talking about that. Yeah.
Yeah, I got to meet him, which was really sick. Dude, like my favorite part about listening or reading mental health journeys is the comeback. And dude, you came back in a massive way. And like, dude, it makes me so proud. Like, honestly, like I will say at the beginning of the podcast, when you said you graduated in 2019, that made me feel old because I graduated in 2009.
Yeah, I'm a baby still. I'm used to being the youngest one. It was so fun being on tour when I did Monjam shows because I was the kid. I was the only 18-year-old. Everyone was like 25 plus. So I'm like just going around making everyone feel old. Like 40-year-old technicians. I'm like, it's fun making people feel old. So I'm gonna do that while I.
You made this 34-year-old guy feel old. Damn it.
Yeah. So I mean, yeah. Continue.
Go ahead.
Sorry about that.
Oh, no, I was gonna let you go ahead.
You're good.
Okay.
But yeah, what you said about the comeback stuff, it's all about. I mean, I'm no Ned Flanders Christian, but I believe in God. I feel we're all put on this earth for a reason. I feel like He put me on this earth to play monster trucks. And there's a lot of reasons why I should not be alive right now. Through suicide. No, this is
Patrick.
Another one of my
happy birthday, Travis. Just joking.
I love that guy. Multiple suicide attempts, possible overdose. Like I shouldn't be here right now. I shouldn't be sitting in this chair alive, breathing, doing what I'm doing right now. So this year, especially now that I'm venturing out more, that I'm driving and actually like achieving my dreams, I've really made a point to actually like set my feet down on the ground and actually take everything in. Because like I said, how lucky I am, how blessed I really am. I am the luckiest guy in this entire industry. Because I'm just a kid from a small town in Massachusetts who wanted to do this as a career. And I'm actually doing this as a career. I'm not a second generation driver. My grandfather was a mechanic, but that's about it. I have no mechanical background whatsoever. So I really, I shouldn't be where I'm at today. Like, there's no reason why alive, working here, there's no reason why any of this should have lined up. So I really have been taking the chance, like Evansville especially. I stood there for 15 minutes and just looked at the track, just soaked it all in, realized when I was in Canada, I'm in Newfoundland right now. I'm in the Sphere in Las Vegas. I'm really this year really taking chances, really taking time to let moments set in and actually because most of my career, it's just one show after another. on the road 40, 50 weeks out of the year, just constant go and go, same thing every single week. It flies right by you. So to actually stop and smell the roses is what I'm trying to get at. It's really nice to actually be here and appreciate everything and realize that I am a 24-year-old kid living the life that I've always wanted to live. So,
you said something there that really hit home with me, is that, you weren't supposed to be here. And I feel that way too. Doctors told my parents to abort me. My mom had to have an emergency C-section.
mhm.
I was supposed to be born in March. I came out end of January. I was called the miracle baby. And, going through all that I've gone through now, to be sitting here, a married man, that I had so many amazing designs hit the track.
You hear a dog whining in the background.
Okay.
Come here.
I got to drive. Oh, let's see the doggo.
This is Ollie. This is
Hey,
Logan's
Ollie.
dog. He's the sweetest boy I've ever met. This is Logan's dog, Ollie. I just wanted to say hi to the Crestus viewers. So,
like the one moment for me that really validated like my not comeback story, but like my redemption, was when Don Frankish let me drive his Jurassic Attack ride truck.
yeah, I remember that.
Like, for me, like, I never thought in a million years I'd get behind the wheel of a monster truck at all, because of where I live. I don't get to a lot of shows a year, like Monster Truck Throwdown Edmonton and Monster Tram in Edmonton is the only
I was
shows
gonna say where you're at. It's a tough location.
Yeah. And Jimmy used to come down to the Edmonton show with Throwdown, and that's actually where I witnessed Joe Foley's transition from Too Extreme to Team Scream.
Massachusetts legend Joe Foley right there.
Yeah. And then, having my then fiance, now wife, watch me drive Jurassic Attack.
Get on video to capture the moment.
Oh, dude, I cannot thank Don Frankish enough. And I'll say this, I will publicly say this: the goal is still to drive a race truck. I will shoehorn my 350. I'm 350. I got to lose some weight again. 350 pound ass inside a race truck. I will shoehorn my ass into it. I do not care.
What I tell everyone this when I'm doing like ride truck or whatever, or like the help, like people come out volunteer, like there'll be adults, like people way older than you, like, man, I wish I could do this, but now that I'm old, like, age is just a number. Like, I use Dan as the best example. Dan is a 55-year-old, turning 55 tomorrow, year-old man, married, kid out of the house, and he just started driving 2 years ago.
Yeah.
So age is just a number in monster trucks.
It's my goal that I've had since a little kid, and I've had people tell me, you can't do that, and I want to basically be like, screw you. Like, here's me in a race truck pulling a nasty ass 1-2 hole shot or a slap wheelie.
Yeah.
Like,
that was always my favorite thing too. Whenever everyone told me I'd never do it, get a real career. Obviously just watch me.
Like it's been harder to get into the industry, like in a way like you are, or Cheech is, from where I live. That's why I kind of did the digital route, just because like I love designing. Like, growing up, idolizing guys like Chip Foose and Boyd Coddington and all those guys. It's still going to happen. I still have faith that somebody is going to be like, hey, let's put the Canadian in a truck. My personal goal.
The only thing that's stopping you is you. Really.
Yeah. And that's the truth. And I'll set this out. I'll say this out in the open. I don't care. I'll manifest it, whatever. My goal in life, my number one bucket list, since I've been to the World Finals twice now, I've done a badass road trip, I got married. Like, my number one goal in my life now is to debut and run, at least in one show, a design that I made and a name that I made. That is my goal, and I hope it's with I'd love it to be the truck I designed, Grease Fiend, just because I love how that thing turned out.
That was a cool design.
And
I'm not gonna lie, that really,
like that was like a quick refresher of my brain, like a quick
just to get the
30,
rust off
40 minute idea, and it broke Instagram.
Yeah.
last night. Ryan Disharoon commented on it, like, no big deal. But like, chase your dreams. Like that. If there's one thing that, you know, I want people to understand from this is your story doesn't have to end. You know, that's why
the semicolon, the suicide awareness.
Yep.
The sentence unfinished.
And my tattoo, I'll explain it quickly. It says, "I deserve to survive." And it's from a Christian metal band called Convictions. And they have a song called The Price of Grace. And the band befriended two young men. And unfortunately, one of them lost the battle to mental health. And they wrote a song about it. And there's it's a heavy song. So if you don't like metal and metalcore, you're not going to like it. But
Christian
in the
band?
song, huh?
A Christian band?
Oh yeah, Christian metal, man. It's definitely an amazing genre.
All right, I have to give that a shot sometime.
But there's a line in the song that says, in the tattoo was a happy accident how it turned to be I deserve, but the song says you deserve to survive, and that line has always stuck with me through my recovery of you know what happened in the past.
100%.
And I wanted my first tattoo to have meaning, and the tattoo artist accidentally messed up the stencil and put I instead of you, and I'm like, I like that better. It's more of a statement,
Happy
like
accident.
a declaration, like
no mistakes, only happy accidents.
Oh yeah, it's like a declaration, like I deserve to survive.
Yeah,
you know, like if I'm having a rough day where I'm like, man, why do I even try? I look down and immediately it reminds me of, hey,
that is exactly what I do.
Keep going.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and like I'm gonna, dude, I'm so proud of you. Like honest, like
it really means a lot, honestly.
I look at you, like I know, like we're not like super close, like we talk every now and then, but like
yeah,
I look at you like a little brother. You know, I have an older brother, so I was in only two kids, but I look at you as a little brother to me, and I'm so proud of you, man. Like honest to God, like
likewise, honestly.
Seeing your transformation, you know, and battling addiction and mental health to now you can call yourself a monster truck driver, my friend, and one of the best damn crews, getting to work for one of the most legendary teams. Like, dude, your redemption arc is legendary. And I hope when people listen to this podcast that they get inspired by your story, that never give up.
That's what it's all about. Shout
out to John Cena, never get up.
Only 4 dates left, man.
That's crazy.
I know. Anyway, but yeah, I appreciate it, man. Thank you. Like I said, I'm no one special. I'm just a kid from Massachusetts who wants to play monster trucks for his career. I'm like I said, I'm no second generation driver. No one special. Just a kid who want to do this. So for people to actually like see the progress I've made, it means the world to me. Because I mean, I try not to. I mean, I take pride in how far I've come, but I try not to let that be like turn into an ego. So I try to be like, yeah, I've had, because I'll always be like, there's always someone suffering a little worse than you. So like, my stuff's not so bad. But no, like I said, I'm the luckiest guy in this entire industry. I mean, I have the best fans, like my family, friends back home. Shout out to the house attenders. I have the best support system. And when people always remind me, like even when I'm up, like right now, I'm just living life, they'd be like, just reach out if you need anything. Like everyone's always like that. Like everyone, like I know I can reach out to basically anyone. And that's what really means the world to me. Like how understanding and how many people are really there for you with your battle with mental health. So having a support system like that or an army, I should say, is the biggest blessing I could ever ask for.
Exactly. You know, I remember when I started my recovery, you know, of going through, like I lived at my parents' house for a month, like me and my ex split, you know, and I basically lived at my parents' house for a month. I didn't want to go back to my apartment. You know, I let her get her stuff out. She never did. I threw her stuff out eventually. But like at the beginning, the recovery process is hard.
It is.
You
That's an
know,
understatement.
like I remember because when I started mine, like my forehead was all messed up and I couldn't even look in a mirror. You know, I was so ashamed of who I'd become. Like I avoided mirrors. Like my daily routine, it was like wake up, go upstairs, get something to eat, smoke a little weed, go back downstairs and hide. Because that's all I could do, you know. Thank God for the Monster Jam YouTube channel and
Yes.
and all the old footage, because
Yep.
that got me through it. Like,
Oh yeah.
like my I love my wife, but she doesn't understand why I love watching old school NHRA or Monster Jam. She's like,
Nostalgia.
you've watched it before,
Nostalgia.
yeah, but it makes me happy.
Yeah. It's all about
It's
the
like
nostalgia.
I should have said you watch old Taylor Swift music videos all the time. So I don't mess with her when it comes to Taylor Swift. I don't want the Swiftie army.
Yeah, I forget your wife's a pretty big Swiftie, isn't she?
Yeah, she's converted me a little bit. I like some. I'm still a metalhead, Nuge. Okay, I'm still a metalhead. But you know, dude, we're definitely gonna have to have a part 2 on this.
I'd love to. Like I said, it was an honor. So I made like when Cheech reached out to me and asked me what I was doing today. I'm like, no way he's gonna ask me that. Like I'm living with Cheech when I worked for the Hall Brothers. You do this podcast every single Tuesday. I'd be in the living room where I slept and just listen to it. So actually being on the podcast as a guest, I can't thank you guys enough.
Dude, I will say this has been my favorite episode I've ever done.
Appreciate it.
Like because it hits home for me too, you know.
And it's nice talking with someone who's been through the struggle, who actually gets it and understands where you come from.
And it's fitting. It's at the start of Mental Health Awareness Month,
So,
you know, and I didn't realize it until Kelly Miguez posted that it was Mental Health Awareness Month.
Yep.
So,
and Suicide Prevention Month too.
Yes, it is.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and dude, I'm so proud to call you a friend, to call you a brother, and
Thank you, man. Thank you.
We're hopefully before this month is over, we'll have a part 2 and talk more about mental health. And
I'd love to be back.
Is there any social media that people can follow the NUGE at?
Oh man, I didn't think I'd get this far. Damn, forgotten. Yes, I am on Instagram. Mike Nuge 37. Last name's Nugent, so everyone just calls me Nuge. That is number 37. I'm on Facebook, Mike Nugent. I used to have a YouTube channel. I did vlogs. I think I might bring it back.
Dude, do it.
I think I want to.
Bring it back.
If you guys want to look at Mike Nugent vlogs, take a look. I got a lot of YouTube videos from when I did when I worked for Hall Brothers. Now I'm driving. Hopefully, a little more shows coming up. I'd love to vlog.
I'd love to see
everyone on the journey.
I'd love to see you do videos of your perspective during shows, because I know I always forget his name. Tweety. Logan. Sorry,
There's like 7 of them. I forget.
Yeah, there's so many of them.
I call him his brother's name all the time.
You know, I'd love to see your perspective, because I know he does a lot of shows where he's, you know, filming him driving and stuff like that. I'd love to see from your perspective as a crew guy, you know, what you go through during shows, you know, because not a lot of people get to see that aspect of it. So I'd love
as a crew guy.
I'd love to see that.
Yeah, we're always just in the back, just doing our thing, so. But
the crew guys are what makes the shows happen. You know, when I did Edmonton last year, it gave me a whole new respect for crew guys, especially working with Mason. Like that dude is one of the hardest workers in this industry, hands down. And if people disagree with me, spend a weekend with that guy at a show in a small arena. That dude busts his ass.
I have a lot of funny Mason stories that I should probably not share, but I love that kid. He is the hardest worker I've ever met. Dedicated. All the stuff he's been through too. I love that kid to death. He used to work here when I worked for Darren. We were really close, and Mitten would always mess with him, and I always enjoy my Snapchats from Mitten throughout the day. Like one time, he zip tied Mason's shoes together, so I get a Snapchat from Mitt. Just zip tied Mason's shoes together. I get a Snapchat from Mason about 2 minutes later. Mitt tied my shoes together. But no, he is definitely one of the hardest working. It's hard. I mean, nothing against. I mean, the Feld. I mean, I have nothing but respect for Feld technicians.
Oh, agreed.
They're the hardest. I mean, the stuff that gets thrown at them. I mean, every night's a 2 a.m. night for them, basically. But it was between that. What I love being more about an independent technician is that you really get to learn how to, instead of just throwing a part on a truck that's broken, and we're taking a broken part off and just throwing a new one on. Kelly. I love that was my first road mom. I love Kelly. That's Darren's wife. She is one of my favorite humans on the planet. I love her. But yeah.
But again,
on at this point.
yeah, there must be like a little lag between your connection and my connection because there's usually like a little pause. But guys, I want to make this a huge point because of this episode. Mental health, guys. If you're struggling, please reach out. This is Mental Health Awareness Month and Suicide Awareness Month. Okay, and we're going to be definitely pushing it this month and all the time. I've been talking about mental health on this podcast for years now, guys. If you're struggling, please reach out to me, reach out to NUGE, reach out to somebody. Don't be afraid, because one of the greatest things I ever did was reach out to my parents, be like, I'm not doing good. I need help. NUGE
it really is an elephant lifted off your chest. I mean, that's the first step. And once you reach out and once you say out loud, I'm not okay, that's when the healing really happens. And it's hard to explain, but if you're not doing well, open up to someone, talk about what's going on, and it will really feel like a weight lift off your chest. And then for coming from me, that was my first sign of hope. Like, okay, maybe things are going to get better. So,
yeah. And as Kelly says here, call 988.
National Suicide Prevention Hotline.
I don't know what it would be here in Canada. I don't know if Canada has one. I should research that. But there's 988. There's hotlines. Please, you're not alone.
Plenty of online therapists. Everything.
Steven, that is awesome. I love that, brother. If I can help out anyways,
yes, I love the flag.
If I could help anyways, let me know, brother. I'll design something. I'll work on whatever for mental health awareness, suicide prevention. NUGE, I'm proud of you, buddy. This has been, like I said, this is my favorite podcast I've ever done, and definitely going to have you on. Not too sure who we have on next week. Cheech will let me know at some point. And again, guys, please reach out to somebody.
Be kind to your mind.
Yes, exactly. And that's something that I forget a lot of sometimes. I can be very hard on myself, but at the end of the day, like what Nuge said, be kind to your mind, because you need to be nice to yourself. You need to give yourself some grace, as I say. I tell my wife that. Sorry, what did you say?
You're so hard on yourself. Give yourself a pat on the back a little more.
Yep, exactly.
Even if it's something like, this might not seem it, but people who suffer with depression would understand. Like, hey, I got out of bed today. Yep. You know how that feels. Even something like that, like suffering from depression and all that. Like, if you even just made out of bed, congratulate yourself, because it's easy. I mean, every day I wish I could just crawl right back into bed, but it's easy to just hide from your problems, but actually get up and face them. Even give yourself more credit. I'm trying to get at. Don't be so hard on yourself.
Exactly. And on that note from Mike Nugent, guys.
Thank you, guys. It was an honor, really.
Until next week, guys. Keep the rubber side down and the shiny side up, everybody. Peace.